Day 2 of the 13th International CIFA Forum in the Principality of Monaco continued the tradition of panel debates on a range of hot-button economic issues. First up was a passionate discussion about the dangers of corruption, financial excess, and bad economic policy, with speakers offering varying perspectives on who or what is to blame.
All the easy money policies of the world central banks have created a very unstable system where the wealth is all going to the top, but not because it's being earned and deserved, simply because all that liquidity provided by central banks is enriching the financial sector, while at the same time destabilizing the economy with bubbles. And when those bubbles burst, it's going to be rather unfortunate.
Europe and the United States are increasingly dominated by the largest banks, and the largest banks are the problem. They're the ones that are recurrent leading of these frauds, and of course they're so big that they're treated as too big to fail, and that completely distorts the economy.
The principal blame lies with the central institutions, governments and central banks. They created the liquidity which tempted the financial institutions into misbehaving in the way that they did, and that they're probably both sets to blame, but in fact I have to say I think the former more than the latter, and I think the solution, as I said before, is to tighten money.
So it's left and right who are too close to the banks. Seems to be a unanimity political towards for bank to help the financial lobby. And I think that umbilical cord has to be broken if we want to have a return to ethics, a return to good behavior. And banks at the end are there, like politicians, to serve the community, to serve you and I.
The second panel explored links between financial speculation, financialization, and the growing levels of inequality within and across societies.
When we talk about global inequality, we see that it's kind of leveling off. It's remaining very high, but it's leveling off, and this is mainly due to the fact that inequality across countries is falling somewhat. Inequality within countries, within each country, remains high and needs to be addressed.
Of course, to fix a system, by definition, is very, very hard, right? Because it has many cogwheels, and the speed of a cogwheel is dictated by the big machine, which are running the other cogwheels. So let's be pragmatic and let's be realistic. To change a system is very, very difficult, if nearly impossible.
Too much easy money drives away ethics, or too much easy money drives away concern for good outcomes. And when we have too much easy money, and when money circulates so fast through computers, it changes the way people think about themselves and about the system. They get detached from real people and real outcomes.
Later, finance professionals from Luxembourg showcased reasons why their small European country is a big area of opportunity for financial investment and services.
We have a unique customer protection scheme where the policyholder is not only guaranteed his assets until 70,000 euros, for example, that's the case in France, but it's unlimited. Basically, all the assets are kept outside the figures of the insurance company.
The interest for philanthropy is growing in Europe overall, and I think Luxembourg has a very nice role to play there, exactly in the sense that it's an international financial center combining philanthropy but also microfinance. I mean, Luxembourg is one of the largest centers for microfinance and sustainable investments.
We are speaking about a lot of financial assets. We're speaking about shares, dividends. We're speaking about bonds. We're speaking about, as well, dividend of private companies. So life insurance, it's just a vehicle. It's like a trust.
The Principality of Monaco can serve as no better destination for a forum discussing finance, wealth, and good economic management. As such, it makes sense for professionals to explain some of the reasons why this city-state is a perfect destination for finance and investment.
Monaco is a very specific country because we have a sovereign fund, despite the fact that we have no oil, no gas, but we're taking from 5 to 10% of the annual revenues to create a foreign sovereign fund and to have it managed locally, and so we can pretend that we are working for the future.
We have a debt-free country. We are very well healthy. We have a lot of people living and working in Monaco, high professionals from something like 124 nationalities. So we are using the experience of all these persons and the professionalism of these persons to work with.
In light of budget troubles facing countries after the recent global financial crisis, an expert panel examined the current and future debt situation facing most major economies.
In difficult times, it is normal for countries to grow debts, as it is with people, individuals. But the question is, what do you do in the good times? And I think there has been a tendency, particularly in Europe, for people to spend more than they earn, and by people I mean governments, sovereigns, and not pay down debts in the good times. And so when the bad times hit, then you see a spiraling, and that's the time when you actually do want to be running up large deficits.
The solution was the government debt, the public debt was a temporary solution. And now if growth is going again, then the system can go back to normal.
The most important long-term issue, however, is to make the most efficient, the most effective use of public expenditure, i.e. spending for human capital, for supportive policies that really help make people more productive and help them also enter the labor market.
The day's panels wrapped up with a timely discussion about emerging economies, their role in the global economy, and how or if they shake up the existing financial markets.
If you look at Singapore's history, we have been providing free training to the mayors of hundreds of cities in China for decades. And of course, some will say we did it out of altruism, but I would say the benefits are coming today because arguably perhaps we spotted the biggest, fastest growing model decades ago.
Yes, there is a threat, there is a potential that another system emerges. But whether this system will be regulated or not, I think this is the big question.
Tomorrow, the CIFA Forum will conclude with discussions and insights into some of the new ideas and trends in the world of financial advising. In Monte Carlo, Monaco, Brendan Pastor, South News.